and welcome to Geobiz. Joining me right now is Atanu Sinha. He is Director, Hexagon Geospatial for India and SAARC nations. Atanu, thanks for speaking to Geobiz.
Thank you.
Let me start by asking you, Atanu, that how do you perceive Hexagon in the Indian market?
It's a growth market for us. Hexagon has got specific focus within India, with all its business arms have a direct representation in India. You must be aware that recently we also opened up a 1200 facility new center in Hyderabad, which is the capability center. Apart from that, all business units, including metrology, Hexagon Geosystems, Hexagon Geospatial, Hexagon Safety and Infrastructure, have a direct presence where we are looking this as an opportunity to escalate and have more and bigger presence in Indian market. Typically what we are looking at is that there are growth markets and there are focus markets. India being a focus market, we have created an amalgamation and bringing together the complete solution under the Hexagon umbrella through Hexagon India, where we are talking about the harnessing various technologies in newer ways to derive benefits for our customers. And what it gives is a lot of complementing technologies together to the market.
Okay, since we are talking about business, Atanu, let me ask you that how do you see the market for doing business in India?
The sentiments are quite positive. Frankly speaking, there are big programs which are coming up, like Smart Cities, like Digital India. There are investments which are coming from the government. The government is willing and is taking decisions in the positive direction to make sure that the geospatial technologies become a part of every implementation that is happening. Recently, Prime Minister has announced Digital India, in that he also mentioned that space technology will play an important role in all decision making. So what we are doing today is being supported and is backed with government investment.
What are the offers, what are the solutions that Hexagon can provide for building smart cities?
Look, smart cities is an whole-fledged, is a bigger umbrella of various smaller units of operations. Be it Safe City, where you have dial 100 applications, be it command control system in a police center or a fire, we are there through our solution. Be it operations of municipal corporations, right? Whether it is water supply, seaware, whether it is road network, the infrastructure building, we are there through our geospatial portfolio. What we are trying to do is build together a combined framework where we are bringing together information in various silos to make it more intelligent for decision makers to operate, visualize, and reach their goals together as a single city operations.
So how do you, Atanu, define Hexagon as the leading solution providers in India?
Good question. If you look at from the portfolio standpoint, we have sensors, we have aerial centers, we have technologies which processes these data, and we have solutions which ingest that data, creates an intelligent, actionable information. It's in a single way if you look at from sensor to the web that we are talking about. So if you see Leica Geosystems, Hexagon Geosystems portfolio of various sensors, then you have Geospatial, Hexagon Geospatial, which processes, takes those information, processes that data, creates that data intelligent. And you have specific vertical applications through Hexagon Safety and Infrastructure, which is like, CAD, computer-aided dispatch system, command control system, and the utilities network, asset management, asset mapping. Similarly, we are taking a bigger leap in terms of getting this information together and putting it to various individual applications which are specific to specific vertical. Tomorrow, suppose there's a road department who wants to use a specific application for road monitoring. We don't want them to invest everything from scratch. They have the data. They just build an application through SmartMap and can use it for their road operations or maintenance. Similarly, you can take somebody who wants to create some kind of data. We have similar solution called Geometra Smart Client, where you can create and edit information based on that.
How do you see things change at the ground level in India? As far as this using this solution related to geospatial or GIS is concerned? How do you see a change at the ground level?
Look, the change is very slow. Basically, what we have to look at from a government policy standpoint also is because how they are doing the map policies and the data creation policies and data acquisition policies. One of the biggest, I suppose, concern that every geospatial technology company shows is that what is the information that they are getting to process that data. And the base information, which is the map data, is crucial for any kind of these big projects. I suppose we'll have to look at some of the map policies in India, some of the remote sensing policies in India, and availability of data. Plus, we'll have to also look at how the UAV policy is being governed and being implemented in India by Government of India.
Do you see the map policy of India as a hindrance in the industrial growth, in the growth of this GIS market?
I don't think so it's a hindrance, but I think it needs a regulatory mechanism so that maps are available to people who want to make and take decisions at an appropriate level. I think regulation is more important than, I suppose, it's an hindrance. I'll say yes, everything needs a time to evolve based on various programs that come in. Smart cities is one program which is going to open up the map policy, and I suppose there is a big change that is happening in the map policy also, as government has also constituted a high empowered committee to look at the policy.
And what about the data policy? Recently, very recently, at NRSC meet there in Hyderabad, ISRO chairman Mr. Kiran Kumar made an announcement that now 6 months old data will be available free of cost. Earlier it was 2 years old. How do you see this decision? And do you see a change in data policy of this government?
Yes, I definitely see a change, and I think one of the steps towards it is that decision of making 6 months old data available. I think yes, the overall frame or structure is changing and evolving towards making data available to the stakeholders.
What, according to you, is the focus area of Hexagon in India, and where do you get your business from in India?
Like I said, that Hexagon metrology is there, which is in precision measurement instrument. So defense is a big client for us. Automotive is a big client for us. Similarly, through Hexagon Geosystems and Hexagon Geospatial and Safety and Infrastructure, the big programs like Digital India, which also has an NLRMP project under it, Smart Cities project, Swachh Bharat project, somewhere down the line, all are interlinking. And I suppose one of the major things that is happening in Digital India is support for the e-governance projects. Those mission mode projects will lie on the backbone of the Digital India, which will allow various citizens to use citizen-centric services, which will be either geospatially enabled or a simple citizen-centric service.
Okay. And what are the challenges that you see, that you face while working in India? What are the challenges in policy, government policy, or technological challenges, and how do we address that?
From a policy standpoint, I think there is a shift in how people are moving in the government sector. So I'll not say policy per se. There is a change. People are finding newer ways to implement these newer programs. But from a technology standpoint, yes, I do see some challenges, is because when it's typically when government takes a decision, it's typically a lowest bid document, tender situation. I think there needs to be more refined technical evaluation. It should be a qualitative evaluation of technical as well as the commercial. Second, I also think that when you come up with a requirement, the requirement has to be clear, defined, and has to be very, very objective, is that what is the end result that you want. You cannot evolve your requirement based on everyday scenario, because that keeps changing. That becomes the goal unachievable. Some of the critical projects that we are doing, I think you have to have the end result at that point of time freezed so that you know what you are going to get.
Do you see that apart from deciding or announcing about the smart cities, do you actually see work happening at the ground level?
I suppose yes, to that extent. All municipal corporations today are looking at embarrassing geospatial technologies. It may not mean that it is holistically overall a smart city project, but this is the building block for the smart city implementation. If you don't have that base layer and base data, and individual organizations or stakeholders for the overall smart city don't participate and embrace these technologies, we'll see a bigger challenge in doing it top down. I think it's a bottom up approach, and smaller places the implementations are happening.
Adanu, we have been hearing a lot about Hexagon Smart Maps. What is it and how will it be? How do you see the market in India for smart maps?
Yes, you have been hearing a lot of buzz around smart maps. It is going to be a game changer in the geospatial world. In terms of the way we are perceiving it, is bringing in various so-called silos of technologies into one common frame and allow users to build application as they require to exploit that data to get information which is actionable, which means it allows you to do dynamically find actionable information. That means the data is dynamic, the actions are dynamic, and the information is changing is because you are doing every analysis on the dynamic data. What's critical of this is that it allows a partner to develop an application based on Map Studio, which you have already heard about it, and we have a store where you can publish this app and somebody can utilize it globally. There may be some app that has been developed with one particular partner in Germany, like the UAS workflow. It can be exploited in India by some implementation agency who is going to utilize that workflow to exploit the UAV data, right? In India, the plan is very, very promising in terms of in GeoSmart, we are going to formally announce arrival of Smart Map in India. Followed by that is that we have Ignite sessions. Ignite sessions are the sessions where we are asking focused developers to come, experiment and find out more about Map Studio, give their concepts of application or a specific area, and we will allow them to develop application on top of it, and then we will have an open competition globally and we'll rank them as number 1, 2 and 3. What happens is, one, you are developing a developer community who can exploit these operators which are available on the cloud, but also allowing various agencies who are going to these applications to come creatively to see how they can use these various data, including the various BI layers that are sitting in their organization, to create a dynamic, intelligent information. That's the overall vision of Smart Map. In India, I know there are places where you have restrictions in terms of when you want to publish data on the cloud. So we do have a offering which is Map Enterprise, which is an on-premise implementation of a cut down version of Smart Map. So there Smart Map is completely on Amazon cloud. This will be in their private servers. Okay. That's the way we are looking forward to take this technology, which is just not WebGIS and just not desktop, but amalgamation of these two to exploit by users.
How can this technology, how can your field, how can our field touch the daily life of a common man? How can we impact the life of a common man?
I'll give you a small example. When you go through a highway, you can have an app in your mobile which has got a map and has got an application, and your all smartphones today has got GPS. So if you see an accident, just take a snap, see you have the location of the accident where it has happened, and push it to the necessary authority. I think it's a citizen-centric service. Similarly, if you see a rough patch or a bad patch of road, you can give it to the authority by just clicking a photograph, taking it. The authority will have a centralized database where they can see exactly map where the problem is. Or if you see some kind of unrest, it's a crowdsourced data which can immediately go back to the administration to take an action on it. This is a very small example to it. The bigger example to it will be, today there is a fault in your locality that there is no electricity. You give a call. If there are 10 people who call from the locality, the software should be intelligent enough to move that and find out that the problem is with the transformer and not with the local person. So these are various smaller things where your response is much quicker and faster in terms of when you're addressing citizens.
Okay. My last question to you, Tanu, is that many years ago we saw government take initiative regarding IT industry or regarding pharma industry, and we saw a boom in those industries, and they're still thriving. Do you see the time has come when the government should start taking some initiative for geospatial industry also?
They are taking that initiative. I suppose one is the space technology. Second, government has already formed a National Center of Geoinformatics, which is kind of spearheading the whole geospatial industry implementations. Second, they are really high empowered committees which are looking at data policies and map policies. Plus, I suppose national GIS, spatial data infrastructure, these are all building blocks, and the sentiments are clear that they want to embrace the geospatial technology into various projects. And what geospatial technology does is it gives you a visualization of where it is, what it is, and what action to be taken to it, and you can also see what are the results of it.
Tanu Sinha, thanks a lot for speaking to us.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.